Coming up, say hello to baseball. The Cubs season opener was yesterday, and we have a look into the game.
Plus, we'll highlight the postseason appreciation party.
I'm George Gustafson.
And I'm Elizabeth Winchester.
All this and so much more.
Rambler Sports Locker begins now.
Welcome back, sports fans. Another day and another RSL episode.
That's right, George. And just like any other week, we are dedicated to bringing you your sports news in a professional manner.
You got that right. Excuse me. You got that right, Elizabeth. Here at RSL, we are very serious about putting on a high-quality show with as few mistakes as possible.
So let's get right into it. The Rambler Rally took place last week and was a success for Loyola Athletics. Alumni, parents, faculty, staff, and friends of LUC came together to support the university and additional program. William Bazzone has the story.
Last Wednesday, March 21st, was Loyola's annual Rambler Rally. Each year, Rambler alumni and community members donate to academic and athletic programs of their choice. The event reached its goal of 2,500 donors and raised almost $475,000 in total. A yearly tradition also continued in the athletics department, where the top 3 most supported teams would receive a portion of $15,000 in funds. For teams that don't have that big of a budget, this money makes a big difference. According to the Loyola men's volleyball Instagram page, the team topped the leaderboard with $36,000 raised. Women's softball and women's soccer were runners-up at 2nd and 3rd place per the fundraiser's website. For more information about the event, visit ramblerrally.luc.edu. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm William Bazzone.
Thanks, William. On behalf of the School of Communication, we would like to thank the 21 donors that donated to the School of Communication Scholarships and School of Communication Greatest Needs. Together, they raised over $1,000.
Without the continual donation from all of these groups, the university wouldn't be what it is. So once again, thank you to those that donated.
Speaking of donations, the men's volleyball team received over $3,000 from nearly 300 donors.
That's right, George. These donations go to helping to give them a competitive edge over their opponents.
Not that they need it. Have you been following their progress?
I have. Currently, they have only 1 loss in conference game, and they remain undefeated in home games. Quite the team we have this season. Amelia Villhauer has more on their recent game in Virginia.
The Loyola men's volleyball team has had a killer season so far of 19-4 and even managed to pull off a 10-game win streak this season. The Ramblers flew out to Fairfax, Virginia this past weekend and took on Princeton University on March 25th and George Mason University on March 26th. The Ramblers came up short in their game versus Princeton when they lost by a score of 3-1. Loyola managed to win the first set with a score of 30-28, but couldn't make a comeback for the rest of the sets in the match. However, redshirt senior outside hitter Cole Schlotthauer and redshirt sophomore outside hitter Parker Van Buren tied with 15 kills each. The Ramblers could only go up from there and went on to beat the George Mason Patriots 3-2 after forcing 5 sets. The match was a nail-biter, leaving the crowd on the edge of their seats. With Loyola and George Mason swapping the lead back and forth, and tensions were at an all-time high for the 5th and final set that the Ramblers managed to win with a score of 17-15. The Loyola men's volleyball team is back in Chicago and will be playing the Quincy Hawks on April 1st in the Gentile Arena. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Amelia Villhauer.
Thanks, Amelia. The Loyola men's volleyball team have 3 games remaining before the MIVA tournament starting April 15th. The Ramblers are looking to make their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2015. The tournament will take place in Fairfax, Virginia in early May. While the Loyola men's volleyball team still has a few more games before its season's end, the men's basketball team wrapped up its season on March 27th. Despite a tough inaugural season in the Atlantic 10 Conference, Loyola fans never failed to show up and show out for the team this year. The Pack set a Loyola basketball attendance student record against Fairleigh Dickinson with nearly 1,500 students. The men's basketball team showed its appreciation for the fans this past Wednesday by hosting a Pack pizza party in Gentile. The first of its kind event featured knockout, trivia, and shooting contests where 2 knockout winners teamed up with Loyola players. The winner won $250 to the Loyola bookstore. Head coach Drew Valentine thanked the Pack for their support and looked to the future.
We really wanted to do this to show you guys how much you guys mean to us. and how much value that each and every one of you have by being a part of our family.
It is truly amazing to see everyone come together to celebrate men's basketball season. I was able to attend a few games, and the energy of the fans are unbelievable. I know I and many others will be counting down the days till basketball starts up next year.
Same here, Elizabeth. While the basketball team got off to a rocky start after switching conferences, they never gave up and continued to go head-to-head with every opponent. The players played their best game, and it showed. Here with more updates on the Loyola men's basketball team is Nate Keough.
Thanks, George. While the madness of the NCAA tournament continues to unfold, so does the madness of the transfer portal. Loyola made its first signing out of the transfer portal, senior forward Dame Adelican from Dartmouth. Adelican averaged 13.2 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game with Dartmouth this season. At 6'8", Adelican will add height and physicality to the Rambler squad. When asked why he chose Loyola, Adelican said, quote, "I really like the culture of the program. I felt as though it was a very competitive environment, and I'm an individual who thrives in environments that push me out of my comfort zone," according to Loyola Athletics. He also said he has developed a strong relationship with Coach Drew Valentine already. The last time Loyola signed a transfer from Dartmouth, it was center Chris Knight, who helped Loyola reach the NCAA tournament in 2022. Welcome to Loyola, Dame. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Nate Keough.
Thanks, Nate. Dame Adelican was also targeted by Wisconsin and Ohio State, but he chose Loyola, and we are excited about it.
That's right, George. I'm interested to see how he will be incorporated into the team and how it will affect the men's basketball performance next season.
Me too, Elizabeth. But it seems that Loyola aren't the only ones that have transfers occurring. The NFL free agency opened on March 15th, allowing both unrestricted and restricted players to solicit offers from other teams. Chloe Morrissey has the story.
The NFL offseason is in full swing, and most of the league's big-name free agents have already found new homes. But there are still a few notable players left on the market. Starting off with running back Ezekiel Elliott, one of the Dallas Cowboys' star players for 7 seasons. Elliott has yet to sign with another team, though he has expressed an interest in the Bengals, Jets, and the Eagles. Quarterback Lamar Jackson's future has been up in the air since the beginning of the 2022 season after failed negotiations to extend his contract. Jackson does not have an agent and has taken to Twitter to express his frustration with how the negotiation process is going as he remains unsigned. And finally, Kansas City defensive end Frank Clark. The 2-time reigning Super Bowl champion has racked up 13.5 sacks over his career in the postseason alone, the 3rd most in NFL history. Yet, Clark and the Chiefs were unable to come to terms on a contract that would keep him in Kansas City. It should be interesting to watch these next few weeks unfold and find out exactly where these players end up, if anywhere at all. For Rambler Sports Locker, I'm Chloe Morrissey.
Thanks, Chloe. I'm interested to see how the chips fall with these free agents.
Me too, George. While I'm not a huge football fan, it is always interesting to see what is happening with the players and the teams.
Thursday was Major League Baseball's opening day, and the Cubs began their season at Wrigley Field against the Milwaukee Brewers. The wind was blowing, but the sun was shining for fans who flocked to Wrigley for the game, which the Cubs won 4-0. The 162-game season continues April 1st at 1:20 p.m. Welcome back, baseball. Hopefully I can make it to a game before the end of the semester.
Me too, George. I'm sad that the men's volleyball team season is coming to an end, but thankfully there is plenty more happening in Loyola sports, such as the softball team that is only halfway through its season. The Loyola softball team faced off against the St. Joseph on March 25th and 26th in 3 games, where they secured 3 wins. Their overall record is now 8-16. The Ramblers are 4-2 in A10 play. The team has the remaining 21 games left in its season before they head to the A10 championships in the Bronx starting on May 1st.
That wraps up this episode of Rambler Sports Locker.
To stay up to date on all things Rambler Sports, be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Loyola RSL and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
From all of us here at Rambler Sports Locker, I'm George Gustafson.
And I'm Elizabeth Winchester.
We'll see you next week, and don't forget to turn off the lights.